Okay, and we are live once more. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to Power Up Show, the one place where you can come and listen to us talk about the video game industries and other mediums of entertainment. And tonight we have, as always, our good friend, our buddy, our bro, Retro Richard. Say hello.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, guys. Mel, so happy to be here. We really only talk like during this thing, right? And a few messages. So this is to me one of the highlights of the week. So really happy to
Nice.
be here.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure, man. I mean, we used to talk a lot before, but it was like, hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? And that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Hey, I'm
yeah.
playing this thing. I'm playing this thing. Okay, cool. And that was that, right? We didn't really engaged, right? So I guess this is always a good highlight for the week. For me,
Yes,
definitely.
absolutely. Absolutely. I can't wait. I know we you kind of mentioned a few things that we're gonna touch upon, but like always, I said, don't tell me. Let's keep it fresh.
Yes. Well, for freshness sake, first of all, as always, what have you been doing? What have you been playing? What have you been living?
Okay. What was I playing? I finished a game. Oh, Ghostbusters. I finished Ghostbusters.
You finished it
Great
finally.
game. I finished Ghostbusters. Great game. There's one section that I think it's a little bit too difficult, like poorly designed compared to the rest of the game.
All right.
Towards the end, and it's not the end. It's in this. The last stage is in a cemetery, and you start in a cemetery, and then you go to like the astral plane or the dead plane, whatever you want to call it. But right before that, there's a gate that you have to destroy, and there's a bunch of angels that come out and shoot arrows at you. I think that is too difficult compared to the rest of the game. It just goes up a notch
Really
really,
scales up.
really quick. Yeah, really, really quick. I would say it's somewhat unfair, but I got through it. I just thought it was poor, poor, poor game design. But other than that, the game is great. It's pure nostalgia, but it's nostalgia that is well made. The actors are there. You mentioned it's based on what would have been the third Ghostbuster movie on that script that Dan Aykroyd had written. So yeah, it's a great game. It's just one little stain on the blanket, but other than that, it's a wonderful game. It kind of shows its age, but not too much, so it's not that obvious that it's from the 360. Uh, I wish they had made the sequel, but it's great. I absolutely love it. If I were to score it today, I would probably give it a 7.5 or an 8. I mean,
Nice.
considering that's a 360 game, right? Not comparing to today's games.
Yeah, I mean,
And
of course, taking into account that it is a remaster of an old game, and it's an old remaster at that, right? So you have to take that into
yeah,
account. But other than that, the game is still really good. I mean, I think it's one of those very enjoyable games that it doesn't matter when do you play them. You know.
yeah. I mean, again, other than that small detail, it is a very well designed game. The mechanics are amazing. It's really good. It does feel like you're catching ghost busting ghost. It feels like you're ghost busting. So it kind of, but to be honest, Luigi, have you played Luigi Mansion, especially three?
I haven't, to be honest.
I would
I'm not
highly
a
recommend it.
I'm not a big fan of Luigi's Mansion as a whole, but I've heard a lot of
Did
people say,
you?
"Hey, this is good."
Which one's the last one you played? Did you play the original one?
No, no, no. I mean, just the idea of it, it didn't really appeal to me, so I'm not a big fan.
Uh, I would. I think if you were to give, if it's on sale or somebody has it and you can borrow it, maybe Cesar has it. I I think you'll be surprised. It's a really good game, and I think it's actually the best looking game on the Switch today.
Huh? Go
Easy,
figure.
like it's not even it's not even up for debate. I think it's the best looking game on the Switch, hands down.
All right. Well, that might be about to change soon enough. We do have some news going on that end. But in the meantime, what else have you been playing? And that's about it.
Oh, I started Mass Effect for the
Aha,
first time ever.
Legendary Edition.
Legendary Edition on the Steam Deck.
And
So I'm
how
playing Mass
has that
Effect
been so
Portal.
far? You never played it
Uh,
originally, right?
I never played the original. It's a little slow. Actually, let me backtrack on that. I played the original for maybe like 30 minutes.
Uh huh.
I got to the first shooting um part. Like there's a little intro where you're in the ship and they're kind of introducing a little bit of things, and then they sent you to this mission to get the beacon,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a shooting mission. I maybe did like a quarter of that mission. I was like, the shooting mechanics suck. I'm not playing this.
Yeah, and I think they for the Legendary Edition they did fix it a little bit. I'm
Yeah,
not so it's a little bit more like the second one. Now, the reason for that is the fact that it originally played as an RPG, like a full blown RPG, which means your stats matter. Which means that at the beginning your stats suck. Which means that whatever shooting you do, it sucks because of stats, not because of skill. You know.
yeah.
So if you're pointing your sniper rifle and that you're pointing exactly at the pinpoint location that you're trying to hit, you will shoot and it will still miss because of your stats. It has like a wider range of hit and miss.
Yeah, I couldn't figure it out, and I didn't know that. And I was new to RPGs back then. But
Mm,
even if I wasn't new, it doesn't feel right it doesn't feel right if the aim is right there and you still miss.
exactly, exactly.
Especially when you're playing this what's supposed to be an elite soldier representing humanity, right? So it just feels off. Now that you mention it, it will just feel very off. So what do I think so far? I think it's okay. I'm just starting. It seems a little slow. The races tend to repeat a lot. I tend to see the same three races so
Mm-hmm.
far. But again, I just started. Um,
Quick question, because this is the one part where when I originally played it when it came out, I said, "And nah, screw this, forget about this. I'm not going through with this." And then years after, when Galileo, hey Gato, if you're listening to us, when he told me, hey, you should be playing this game, and I was like, heck no, it sucked. I got stuck in this one place, and he said, no, no, no. If after you go out of that place, it gets a lot better. Um, did you get to the Citadel?
I did, and it was boring.
As hell. Did you get out of the Citadel?
I just got out, and that's why I stopped.
Okay, so from this point on, the game picks up a lot. So just it's gonna be a hard pill to swallow, but just go through it. You're not gonna regret it.
Well, I already got out of the Citadel, and again, it was
Yeah.
boring, but it wasn't horrible. And again, I am kind of expecting like RPGs have a slow start, so
Mm-hmm.
it was fine. And again, there were some shooting sections that felt fine. So had it been the old Mass Effect and I'm still missing left and right, I would have been like, screw this.
Yeah.
But you know what? There's something janky about um, Shepard's movement in
Mm-hmm.
his body, and it almost feel like his body. It's almost asexual. Like it's supposed to be able to mimic a man or a woman. That's kind of what I feel like the way it moves. It is weird, and I don't know if that's if because I'm playing the remaster. I don't know if that was also the way Shepard moved in the original game, or this is part of some of the tweaks that were made. Again, I don't think it's on purpose. I just maybe they were trying to use the same model for both, but I think you can tweak the models, right? You can tweak Shepard the way he looks.
Yeah, you can actually well, you can create your character as either male or female. if that's the question.
Yeah, that I
So
know, but can you tweak the way they look, like the body itself?
not that I know of, but
Okay.
I can see that happening. You know, it could be the second one.
It,
The second one for me is the best of the three. I do like three. The third one, even if there's a lot of controversy regarding the ending, what have you.
yeah.
I like the three games, but the second one is the one that hit it for me, the one that was like in its peak condition.
Yeah, that's what most people say. So I'm hoping I get through one so I can start second one.
Also,
It so far
also
hasn't grabbed me yet, but it hasn't been it's not pushing me away either.
mhm.
So so far I'm okay. So let's see what next week says.
Yeah,
And it
definitely.
and, it- and it makes a big difference on playing portable. I think if I was sitting in a couch playing this game for the first time on a big TV, I think I would be a little bit more turned off.
Hmm. Yeah,
But
I mean,
portable, it makes it worth it.
well, on the second one might change that for you. I mean, the second one has a lot more spectacle to it. The first one, it was their first foray into that kind of games, right? So you can imagine everything being more focused, and that works well for the portable. The second one, however, it goes like they really ramp it up, right? So the second one, I would definitely recommend going on a big screen, and of course, the third one definitely has to be done on a big screen. But that said, you won't be disappointed even if you play it on a portable. That's
Yeah, I
what I
don't
think.
think I will. I don't think I'll be disappointed. It's just I think for at least for number one, given that it's the first one, I know it's probably the one that people mechanically like the least. I think it's perfect portable. Because
Mm-hmm.
I remember the first time I played Xenoblade, I was very happy that I could, and I played on the Switch the first time, right? I was very happy that I could take it off and do all the boring stuff portable. And then when I had the epic fights, I could just, dock
Just
it
go to
and
the
play
big
it on the
TV.
big TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't, I mean, you can do that with the Steam Deck, but given my circumstances right now, I won't be able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that will probably be the best once I get to the second one and the third one. I mean, and I may take a break in between. I'm probably playing
They're
180 hours of Mass
they
Effect, maybe
are
too
very
much.
long games. Yeah, they're very long, and if you go, the whole mile, it's even longer, right? So, yeah, you definitely want to take some breaks so that you don't break the magic of it.
Yeah. So well, they'll probably be my 1 year project to play Mass Effect for the
There you
next year,
go.
among other things, right? So
Yeah, of course.
other than that, I was supposed to play Alien Isolation, but I'll wait until I finish Mass Effect 1.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That should give me a break. Or I may even need something more arcadey to break from Mass Effect. But so far, it's Alien Isolation is what I may do.
All
But we'll
right.
see. There's the fall of gaming and winter of gaming is coming. So there's a few games that are supposed to pop up, but nothing like that piques my interest as far as I'm concerned. But,
Nah.
but how about you? That's enough for me. What have you been playing? I'm guessing the same game from last week.
Yes. The answer is yes, definitely yes. My mind is completely boggled with Satisfactory. So, but you still have no idea what the game is about. So,
Me?
in light of that, I took a couple of pictures just that you can have an idea of what we're looking at. I don't know if
Okay.
you're looking at the screen.
Yes, I am.
All right. So, as you can see here on this pic, you can see like that this is like a big factory. We talked about a little bit about what's it
Oh,
about,
wait,
right?
wait.
Like,
What I see in the background is the Nintendo Switch logo. Should I be
oh,
looking at
oh,
something
oh,
else?
oh, my bad, my bad, my bad. It's gonna be on the stream. Can you see it on the stream itself?
I still see on the stream itself. Should I go to Twitch
Yeah, yeah, just on Twitch.
or let me see? Yeah, let me just go to Twitch then.
Yep. Which, by the way, will be good to check audio.
Okay. So let me bring the audio back because I actually brought the audio down on
Yeah,
my phone to make sure I don't interrupt anything.
sure.
Okay. Twitch is
All right.
not cooperating right now.
Huh. It's not loading.
It's no, it's yeah, it's Twitch itself. So here it is. Where
It's
are
twitching.
we? Power up, play. Okay, I'm in.
Okay.
And oh my goodness. This
Now,
is way more advanced than I was imagining in my head.
so yeah, the premise, as we talked about before, is you have to send enough materials to save the world. Well, to save humanity of, I don't know what. I have no idea. I have no clue. But you do have building tiers, right? So you do have a lot of progression. In the meantime, to manage that, you have this kind of situation. You can see that image. This is my main factory right now. It's a lot better. Well,
Hmm.
not right now. It's a lot better right now. This was the one of the first drafts of my main factory. However, before the factory itself, I had all of this on the terrain, just like that, like plain on the terrain. There's hills, there's forests, there's whatever, and I just had my factory like lying all over the place, right?
So now you actually have a warehouse.
Yeah, I actually made a warehouse. I put a little bit of farm, and I started to put a little bit of functional configurations. But then just you are required to use some materials to do this, and then you're required to
Yeah.
make some other thing with that other material, and then you start doing all this jumble that you see right there. So it
I
it
mean,
can get quite messy if you don't
this,
organize.
this is like logistics 101, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty much logistics now. You can see right here. This is probably version 2 of the factory from the outside, and you can see a lot of hydro fluids and stuff like that, and you can see some power systems right there on the bottom left. So the idea here is that you need to have a power grid to keep things working, which means that you have to find several different ways to bring out power.
Got it.
Audio's okay, by the way.
That's what I'm testing. I'm gonna take the Bluetooth away and make
Mm,
sure.
yep. Hello, hello, testing. 1 2 1 2. Testing,
No,
testing.
you're good. No, I can hear you.
Yeah,
I
but
just want to see
on the stream itself,
um,
I mean.
on the stream itself. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, good.
Wait. No. Give me a second.
Oh,
Yeah. It
yeah,
works.
perfect. Okay. All right, good. So, the idea here is that, like I said, you have to. Oh, hold on a second. I think the dog wants to come in.
Okay. There it is. All right, guys. As you can see, Mel's doggy is coming in. Just wants to chill with his daddy,
Yeah.
looking up. There you go.
Yeah, she wanted to come in, so I will never deny that to her. Uh, Stella, Stella. She'll stay down there. So, as we were, so like I said, you do need to bring a power grid into all of this to keep the machines
Make
working,
it
right?
work. Yeah.
So you have to look into different ways of generating power. And you can see right now on the outside of the building, there's like three big power generators that use fuel, which means they have those big tanks of fuel. Which means that I need this refinery on the side because I'm bringing via train. I now have like a big train networks around the world to bring in oil, which you need to refine to make the fuel and so on and so forth. So it's this big chain, and
You're
you can see.
killing the planet, Mel. You're killing the planet.
Oh hell no! It's a brand new planet. It's a fresh new planet, which means that I'm not killing it. I'm just getting started. And another example is like right here. I put a little bit more of organization on this. This is one of my main power grids. So on the bottom of this platform, you can see right there water pumps which bring water into this power generators. Or coal power generators, which means that I need to bring out coal from some miners right there on the back. You
Mm-hmm.
burn the coal, you generate energy, and that you connect it to your main power grid. And this is, by the way, this is like miles away from my factory. I have to connect
Oh,
it
really?
via, yeah, you have to connect it via power towers and stuff. So there's a lot going on in this game, and it's too much. So yeah, it's got its fingers gripping on my brain. So I can't stop. I just need to go into the next tier of technology. Currently, the factory is quite
I'm laugh-
bigger, quite better.
I'm laughing at what you're saying. That's why.
Yeah, I know. Currently, the factory is much bigger and much better than what you saw right now. But since I had that big jumble of stuff going on, I decided once I sent the last materials to get into the next tier, which is aluminum and nuclear energy. I
Mm-hmm.
decided to clean up factory. I'm cleaning it up completely and starting from scratch to start to do again like actual uh, functional, logistically speaking, factories. And I said factories because now I figured a way to say, hey, I found different sites where I can get the materials that I require. So I'm just going to focus each site for specific productions and just transport everything via train to a main factory that I will use to do the actual assembly. So yeah, the deeper it
You're going
goes.
really deep on this,
Oh yeah, yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy, but
and it's kind of like Tetris. You can't stop thinking about it, right?
yeah, exactly. You just can stop thinking about it. You're like, I'm like all day today was like, I really need to clean the factory. So I finally started,
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then you're thinking like, how can I make the power grid better? How can I get so one of those times I was thinking like, how can I do that power grid thing? So I devised this idea that you're looking at, where I put the water pumps down at the bottom and use pumps to pull the water all the way up into the platform, and then the platform distributes organizedly all the coal from one system to the next in a manifold. And now I have
Dude,
like
I,
this nearly 4K megawatt power grid. So it keeps going. It keeps going. It never stops.
I can't even build a computer. I can't. This is like too real for me. This is where I clock out. It's too close to reality.
You would think, but at the end, since it's an alien world with alien stuff and alien creatures and what have you, it doesn't really feel that realistic. On the other hand, it really pushes you to say, "Hey, how can I do things better?" Right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's quite a ride. I would
I don't
definitely
want to make
recommend
things
it.
better now. I just want to
Oh,
kill things.
yeah, I know. Would you do get to kill things? I told you there's alien creatures that you have to kill. When you're exploring, because it's a huge world, when you're exploring, you still bring in weapons, and you have to kill creatures, or they will kill you and eat you alive. So hey, you know, there's
So are
a lot
so
to do.
are they are the
Sentient?
natives not as advanced technologically as you are?
Nah, so far no sentient creatures, just beasts, animals, kind of thing.
So not like Avatar yet.
Yeah,
Avatar
no, no,
without
no.
the
Yeah, no, there's no sentient creatures that we know of. However, you do find some materials that have like a hidden information, which starts to, well, once you grab them, the AI is trying to tell you, oh, this material is whatever it is, and then all of a sudden it gets all glitched out, and alien voices start to come through. So there
uh,
is sentient life out there, and they're really crazy for what it looks of it. But
or there was a
yeah, but I don't know much about them other than the glitches that I get into my AI that starts to speak about crazy shit.
gotcha, gotcha. Okay,
All right, and
very cool, man.
that's about it for this week. Well, I did test a little bit of Vampire Survivor just to get ready for the 31st. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's I have it on the phone, so makes it a lot easier.
Oh, you play it on the phone?
Yeah, but I mean, I will get it on Steam, but I just wanted to get into the vibe. So I played it a little bit.
Okay, okay. I
So,
have it on Steam Deck, so that's why I play it when I do.
oh, that's even better because we can do the play together, and we might be able to play together.
Remember, it doesn't play online. We have to be.
Yeah, it doesn't play online, but it does have a remote play together enabled, so
Ah,
maybe.
okay.
So it might be possible. Might
Okay.
be. We'll test it
All
out.
right.
We'll test it out.
We'll test that out.
All right.
We'll with a little bit more time. Last time we tried to play together, didn't quite work.
Yeah, it didn't quite work. So hopefully it was something regarding the game itself, because this game is really so simple that it would be really stupid for
Yeah,
it not to
it'll be
work.
a no-brainer, right? It's just like just turn it on. Just click here
Yes.
and it works.
Yeah, click here, you're done. So yeah, that's
All right.
pretty much it.
So
I'm
what's
really much
next?
enthralled. Well, as I said, and we'll talk a little bit about it later on, we will have Dragon Age, the Veilguard, to play on Thursday. So there will be some
Oh
transmission
yeah.
on that, and
So
that will
anybody who's interested, Mel will be streaming Dragon Age Vanguard
the
this coming
Veilguard,
Thursday. Veilguard, I'm so
the
sorry.
Veilguard.
Which I still haven't played any Dragon Age, but this one, and I know I shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but graphically, it just pulls me away. There's nothing about it that catches my attention that says, play this game.
Are you talking about the trailers?
The trailer, graphically, yes. Just the trailer is what the trailer showed, but graphically, how the game looks, it looks like a Pixar movie.
Not anymore. The thing here is that the trailer was very stylized just to get that effect. The gameplay,
Okay.
nothing to do with it.
Okay.
But
All
we'll
right.
talk
Well,
we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Uh, for the moment, let's jump into the first and very sad news, which what we're looking at right now. Firewalk Studio closes. Sony,
yeah.
Sony, what are you
They
doing,
just
Sony?
bought them last year, no?
Exactly. I do have here a
How much?
line. It says,
What was the purchase price?
oh, I can't remember the price to be honest. It was quite a
Millions.
bit. It was quite a bit, and Concord was a game that was in production for a long time. So yeah, that kind of sucks. Now I do have a quote here. It says, "Sony is closing Firewalk Studios, the studio behind its PlayStation Concord game that it took offline last month after a disastrous launch." In a message
Of
to
2 weeks.
PlayStation staff, yes, exactly, just 2 weeks of gameplay and then you're done. In a message to PlayStation staff, Herman Holst, CEO of PlayStation Studios Business Group, says Firewall Studios will close alongside Neon Koi, a mobile game studio which they also bought
Oh,
recently. So, Jesus Christ, what else can
I
go
think
wrong?
you're seeing the demise, just like in the 80s, the video game had its crash. This is the crash. Now, in my crash, I don't mean it's what happened in the 80s is gonna happen again, where
Hmm.
video games completely went down. Nobody was making games, nobody was buying games, and it was really Nintendo who saved the video game industry with the NES,
Hmm.
a system that at the time was cheap-ish, right? For what was out there. And they had amazing games, and a lot of them were arcadey to begin with. I mean, if you
Yeah.
remember the first time with the Black Line, most of them were like Super Mario. That's probably the least arcadey game if you think about it, because it actually had stages that you can move
Hmm.
on. But you had Kung Fu, you had Exit Bike.
Well, there were a lot of arcade games that actually were ported in a way to
Yeah,
Nintendo. So yeah,
yeah. And they were well made and they were quality. I mean, back then, the seal quality of Nintendo meant something.
yeah.
Uh,
Most of the time, with some dots here and there.
Yeah, sure. I mean, not everything was great, but I would say for the most part, I mean, it was rare that a game would come out that was actually broken, like broken, broken,
Sure.
right? They were tested. Now they were a lot more basic. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, EP was even more archaic, and that was completely broken, right? So
Broken to the core.
when a game came out on Nintendo, it was at the very least playable. Now you may not like it, maybe the game design was not great, but it was playable. You were gonna be able to start and finish the game if you wanted to, and if you put the effort into it.
Yeah.
So what it comes, I'm not saying there's gonna be a crash again where all video games are gonna are or video games company are
And the
gonna.
industry itself is gonna fall and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But we are seeing the tiers and that the business models that they have today, they just don't work, right? And that's why you're seeing all these studios closing down, because
Yeah.
it's not feasible to make a game and spend millions of dollars, sell them for. And I know we're sensitive about pricing, but you can't spend $500 million in a game and expect it to sell it for $70, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you don't get a lot of people buying it. So something's got to give. You can't raise prices too much, obviously. Or if you raise it to higher than what it is today, significantly higher, I think then the game industry will crash, because I think people will stop buying games at that point.
Yeah.
But I think what's going to happen is not what I think. What's happening is game studios are closing. They're realizing they can't just make games left and right because they're not going to sell. You're cannibalizing your own audience. You can't have that many live services. You can't have that many games out there because you don't have that many users. I mean, there's a lot of users buying them, but there's more games than users almost when you think about it. So something is giving in, and it's I think budgets are just going to come in. You can't make that $500 million game
Uh,
every day.
yeah. I think this is the golden age for those indie games which put a little bit of more effort into the games, because their production value is starting to get really good while costs are always low
Yeah.
compared to these multi-billion-dollar games, right? So they spend a fraction of whatever this big companies spend for a game, and they do gain a lot of money in return, right? The only problem is that after that, expectations are high, and now the next game that comes from this little small studio that would, you know, is having an issue because now they need to bring in a lot of money to invest into the next game, right? So
Well, and it's not only little studios. I mean, Spider-Man by Insomniac, that came from Sony, is a perfect example. Like the first Spider-Man, I don't know the budget. It was a big budget, but it wasn't like ridiculous. But when they made two, due to licensing issues, the budget ballooned. But not only the budget, but the staff. Like from what I read, from what I remembered, like the staff doubled, and that just blows my mind. Why would Spider-Man 2 double
require
its staff? Yeah,
exactly.
why would it require double the staff? And that's what I mean, that the industry it's breaking. Like you just made a game 5 years ago with half the staff, which is basically the same game. It's the same map. Why is it costing you and when I say costing you double, just because you double your staff, that doesn't even take into account the license fees that you're paying.
Yeah.
Why is it taking you double the staff to get this done? That makes no sense. And that's where I think the industry needs to come back and say, okay, we don't need 3,000 people working on Assassin's Creed, which is what's happening with Ubisoft, right? They can't finish games in a timely manner.
Mm-hmm.
And they're wasting so many resources that they're never going to recoup. They can't sell that many Assassin's Creed today compared to other years. There's too much competition. So you can't be spending that money every time. And that's where things are going to level off. And that's why you're seeing studios closed. And that's why you're seeing people getting laid
Getting
off.
laid off, and yeah.
But a lot of it is mismanagement. And I go back in this Insomniac being one of the few studios that's actually releasing games more often than not, right? Like ever
Mm-hmm.
since the PS4, they had Spider-Man, Mario Morales, Ratchet and Clank Remaster, the Ratchet and Clank that came on the PS5, Spider-Man 2, and there's probably one more
So
game that
far,
I forget, but that's 5 games. Whereas Naughty Dog has released 2 new ones.
I think
since
so.
then.
Since then.
Grand Grand Theft Auto 1, Red Dead Redemption 2. I mean Rockstar, not Grand
Yeah,
Theft
yeah,
Auto. Rockstar released
Rockstar.
only one, right? It's just the people from Arkham Knights, they released two, and one completely failed.
Yes.
So, anyways, and then where are we going with this? Oh, Concord.
Well, Concord, we know the story. We talked about it, and now the studio is paying the price, which is sadly a lot more expensive than whatever they had to spend on the game because now there's a lot of people without a job, right? So some might
Well,
get saved,
and
but most
Bungie
of them
just had
won't.
layoff.
Hmm?
And Bungie just had layoff. Bungie just had layoff
Oh
not that
my
long ago,
god, that
right?
one I
And
did not
they
know.
have Marathon coming out, which I don't think have they showed anything about Marathon so far?
No, no, just the fact that they have a lot less people to work on it, and that's about it.
The I think the big studio that is coming up, and maybe they already had layoffs and I don't remember, is Naughty Dog. I can see it. Like Naughty Dog, sooner or later is gonna have like 20% of their staff cut down. Because they have not released a game in years other than remasters.
Yes, and that's a lot of remasters.
That's a lot of remasters, and they are an expensive studio. So I think Naughty Dog has left. Santa Monica, I think, should be fine, but we'll see. I think they have minor layoffs not too long ago, but
Yeah, I think they
Naughty
had a
Dog,
little bit, not too many people, but they did have a little bit of a layoff issue there too.
yeah, Naughty Dog, I don't think their next game is gonna be as big as they think, and it's gonna bite them, and they're gonna have big layoffs.
So yeah, sad news for the industry. Go figure. This has
Oh,
been this last 2 years they have been, layoffs here and there and all over the place, right? So it's a sad thing and it's a sad business right now. But hopefully, like you said, it will come a point when they say let's let's look into management a little bit deeper and try to get the right scope of things to be able to bring in good productions with good production value that doesn't require the gazillion million dollars to go through and the 10 years of production just to look everything at the end and say, hey, it's going to the dumpster, like it happened to Concord.
yeah. Or what about the studio that developed the last 2D Prince of Persia? They're also got.
Yeah, they just recently got laid off, and I believe that might have to do. I mean, this is just speculation on my end. It might have to do with the fact that the Tencent wants to uh, purchase Ubisoft, right? So I don't know.
It's possible, although I think it just has to do with the Lost Crown not performing as well as they wanted.
But that's the thing is critically acclaimed. Acclaimed. I know it's a great game. I haven't played it myself, but a lot of people love that game. It is really good. It is the best Metroidvania game that came from the last 5 years and stuff. So it's a really good game, and still they got knocked off. You know.
Yeah, but you can have a great game, but if it doesn't sell,
True.
you're off the block. But it again is a studio is so much more expensive today than what it was 10 years ago. So 10 years ago, you can have a critical acclaim game and not sell great, but you said, you know what, we have a great studio, let's keep them because
Yeah.
it's cost X amount of dollars. But today, keeping a studio alive, you're talking about millions of dollars, right? So it's a harder decision to keep a studio that made a great game that didn't sell compared to a few years ago.
All right.
And Ubisoft, and I don't know how many people they had, but something tells me the way Ubisoft have been managed the past few years, I'm betting they put too much money and too many resources in that game for a 2D game,
Mm-hmm.
that it shouldn't, maybe in the back end.
Yeah. Well, time will tell, and hopefully they don't get purchased by Tencent because I think that would be bad for their business and bad for the video game industry in general. But that's just me speaking. Who knows?
Yeah, I agree. All right, what's next?
All right. What's next? Next up, we have Dragon Age. We won't talk about it much because we don't even have it. This is just early reviews from codes given by the company to review different journalists and stuff. And so far, it's been a good reaction to the game as a whole. So we have good reviews and stuff like that. The one thing that people has been complaining about is the fact that it does have a lot of agenda involved into it, like a lot of political agenda going through them, right? So
Oh, really?
yeah, not political as in politics, but political as in a lot of gender bending and stuff like that. And,
Yeah,
yeah, the usual
things
stuff
that
for
were
that.
that are started being very popular 5 years ago, and they still are, although to a lesser degree.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so that's the one thing I've gathered that it does have a lot of that in your face agenda. But other than that, a lot of the reviewers have been loving the game. They said that the gameplay itself is awesome, that the stories and the quests and all of that is great. So we will know next Thursday. In the meantime, I just want to show the fact that it's um, a lot of
It's
people are
reviewing well.
saying, yeah, it's doing well, and a lot of people are saying that it's a Bioware back to form, right? So
Yeah,
hopefully this will
which
be
I
something.
still don't know what that means because I played Anthem.
Well, but that's the thing. I mean, for Bioware, it was first Massive. Well, it was between Mass Effect and Dragon Age, and both series are great.
Mm-hmm.
Even if the first Mass Effect wasn't that great on the gameplay level, but storytelling and universe building
Yeah,
was
yeah.
great, right? And then Dragon Age came along, and Dragon Age was awesome. And even though the second one went a little bit, under, the third one came along and it was great, and it was Inquisition, which I need to finish playing. I haven't finished it,
Now,
but
would you say that's the best Dragon Age Inquisition, ignoring the new one?
um, you know, a lot of people hate it for several different reasons. Dragon Age 2, I kind of liked it. It was a little bit more a little bit of a more contained story, so I kind of liked it. Although the first one, it had this grand story, right? So, uh,
Okay.
I don't know. Probably I am between 1 and 3, even though I did
Okay.
like the second one.
If let's, how about gameplay?
Gameplay, okay. On the first one, it was very Dungeons and Dragonish. So think of Baldur's Gate, but light.
Okay.
So it was the first one. You could sort of play action, but not really. It was still everything. Everything was controlled by very RPG stats kind of thing. The second one became a little bit more of an action RPG, and then the third one it was full action RPG, and then
Okay.
the new one it is going to follow that same vein, right? It's going to be very action oriented. Even though what makes Bioware games great is the interaction with the characters, right? So
Yeah.
there's a lot
Well,
of
I haven't
stories
played
and.
one, but
Hmm.
given the
Yeah, you
pedigree.
well you'll figure out as soon as you go through a Mass Effect. You'll start meeting
Yeah.
characters, and you start to get deeper into their stories and stuff like that. And it only gets better on the next games. Dragon Age, same thing. They're pretty much Dragon Age and Mass Effect. They're the same kind of game, just one in space, one in fantasy.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
that's about it, right? And then Anthem came along, and we know how that ended, which is sad because the gameplay was awesome in my book.
Yeah,
The
the gameplay
gameplay,
was
the
great.
moment to moment,
If
was great.
everything else, though.
Everything else was very lackluster, so that's where it
So,
failed.
so did Anthem come first, Andromeda? I don't think so.
I want to I want to think that Andromeda was first, and Andromeda
I
wasn't
think so
that
too.
great. Although again, I finished it. It was okay for me. It wasn't that bad, but a lot of people didn't like it. I
Now,
think
again,
I think Anthem
I haven't
was
played
faster.
the Mass Effects, but I always have the feeling that Andromeda, just because had it been named anything else, it would have been fine.
Yeah,
But it
but
was carrying the Mass Effect that just put more weight to that. to people playing it. They're expecting more out of it just because it carried the Mass Effect name.
Yeah, I'm not gonna buy that one. I'm not gonna buy
No?
that
Okay.
one. Yeah, 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 just because of the fact that it is a Mass Effect game. It has everything a Mass Effect game required. The only difference is that instead of following Captain Shepard, it just it followed another crew that went to the Andromeda galaxy, right? So they are
Okay.
just in two separate places, but it is the same universe and it carries everything along with it. So yeah,
Okay.
I wouldn't say if it was another game it would be alright. Now, it did carry a lot of Mass Effect into the name to make it a Mass Effect game. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Gotcha.
I won't think that would be it. More likely, um, a lot of I'm gonna put an example which might resonate. Remember when you played Metal Gear Solid?
Hmm.
Did you play Metal Gear Solid?
Oh, the original NES one? No,
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 you're
no.
talking.
The
Yeah,
PSX
yeah,
game.
yeah. Yes, 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 yes.
Okay, so you played it, and you say Solid Snake and whatever. Did you play Metal Gear Solid 2?
Yes, and it was a disappointment to me
Uh huh. And why was that?
because I didn't play. I played as Raiden,
Exactly. There it is.
and then the story got completely convoluted at the end. It was like, what the hell that just
Completely
happened?
agreed. A lot of people love
Like,
the story for some reason. I hate it, and from that point on, I been hating Metal Gear. You know, although a lot of people will hate me for it, but yeah, Metal Gear is something I cannot stand since Solid 2. So,
yeah, I Metal Gear Solid 2. I mean, gameplay wise, it's amazing. That's what saves it.
sure,
But the story, especially towards the
dreadful.
end, I had no clue what happened. I was completely lost. I mean, years later, I kind of figured out. I forget now what
Yeah,
happened, but
yeah.
years later, I figured out because people were talking about it. You can read about it and so on, and so. But I didn't get that from the game. And if you're not getting that story, if you're not understanding
From
the
the
story for a
game,
game,
then didn't
yeah,
exactly. So that I think that's what happened with Andromeda. More, there were technical issues, and it was probably done by a B team. Probably, I'm not sure, but it did have a little bit of technical issues. I didn't have that many really, to be honest. But the game itself, the fact that you're not playing with Captain Shepard,
Shepard.
probably made the whole difference for a lot of people. You're playing with some of the guys, some of the crew, in some other place. Although you
But
are
but with that said, and again, I haven't played it, but the reason I was not happy with Metal Gear Solid 2 is because the way it was advertised, it was a Snake game,
yes,
right? And I get it; they wanted to surprise you and all this stuff, blah 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 blah
mm-hmm.
blah. And I
And
guess it's
Kojima being Kojima, yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I don't get that feeling from Andromeda. Like I think it was pretty obvious that you were not gonna play as Shepard, given that that trilogy had kind of wrapped that story about, and it would almost be a disappointment to play as him again, given that that story was finished.
yes. In
It's
fact,
almost like I
I
don't
mean,
I don't
it's this
expect the next
simple.
Avenger movie to have Captain America in it.
Yeah, or Iron Man if he's dead, right? Of course,
Yeah,
that's comic book, kind of thing. So it could happen. So let's not speculate into that. But
yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah. But my
uh
point is, I
Mass
don't
Effect
think gamers were
Andromeda.
expecting to play Shepard. Like, why would people think Shepard's going to be the main protagonist?
But that is not the fact that they think or might not think it would be, but it's a matter of it should be in their eyes, right? It's not Mass Effect if it's not Captain Shepard.
I
And that kind of blows because at the end, that's how great stories come along, right? Sure, you might get main characters and all of that, but sooner or later you get side stories, guidance, or whatever you want to call them, and these side stories will tell you another perspective of the whole world universe,
Yeah.
whichever, right? So I think that's great, and that's also good to not get stagnated into the same old.
Star
But
Wars.
people don't like that. People tend to want their main characters. So yeah, even though the game was promoted exactly as you said it, Mass Effect Andromeda, where the characters in this another ship go straight into the Andromeda uh, galaxy and stuff, and what's wrong with that? I don't see nothing wrong with that, but people were like, no, so it's not going to be Shepard, so I'm not gonna bother with this. So
Yeah, I get it. I understand it. And again, I don't want to spend too much on it because I haven't even
yeah,
played it. I just started Mass Effect, right? So I am not the person who should be defending or berating Mass Effect at this point. Maybe later.
Interestingly enough, a lot of people which are Mass Effect fans are also Dragon Age fans, and Dragon Age, although it does have some side characters that join in most of the games, the main character is never a Shepard character. It's always a new character, a new story, a new whatever, and people still
Okay,
like it. So
but if you establish that from the very beginning, it's different than having Shepard the main character for three
yeah, for three
games. And
games, and then all of a sudden a new Mass Effect comes along, and hey, it's
yeah,
not gonna be Shepard anymore. Oh my god, you know.
yeah.
And I'll be honest, that did happen to me in Metal Gear Solid 2. However, that was just one of the parts I didn't like. There were a lot of other things, story wise, character wise, that I didn't like. So let's not go into that hole, not yet. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Let's
I can understand why a lot of people didn't like Andromeda. But at the same time, I don't think it was a bad game. It might have had a technical issues. A lot of people did experience them, but hey, Cyberpunk also had technical issues, and right now I still think it's one of the best games I've ever played. So
Oh yeah, Cyberpunk. I mean, I played it like 2 years later, so it was amazing. It's a
yeah,
great
it
game.
was
I
a
want to
great
play
game.
it again. Yeah, it is a great game,
All
but
right,
2 years later. All right, move on.
so just to finish that point, yes, we will be playing uh, Dragon
Thursday.
Age: The Veilguard next Thursday. So keep tuned to that. Next up, we have this little gem going through the notions. A Xenobomb just hit today. Xenoblade
Oh,
Chronicles X definitive edition. We know it was coming because it had to happen. We already had
you knew
Xenoblade
it's coming,
Chronicles 1
really?
and 2. I mean, it had to happen. It's not that I knew, but I knew. It wasn't
I
official, and no one would say anything otherwise. But I was almost positive this had to happen, and now it is happening. So hey, I
I
can
have
look into
I
the
have
future.
I have given up, to be honest. I thought this was not going to happen to the point where I actually looked for a copy for Xenoblade Chronicles X on the Wii U so I can play
On
it
the
on the
Wii U.
Wii U. Yeah. So
Interesting.
but I haven't played it yet because it's
You don't have
a
the
long game.
you. My Wii is still stuck in there, right at the closet, and that's because I do have just one single game, which is Xenoblade Chronicles. So yeah.
Yeah, so I may still give it a try on the Wii U. I don't I because of the tablet, but here's my theory. It's coming out next year, right? Around March or April?
Right here it says March
Okay.
25th. Sorry,
I think,
the March 20th in 25.
yeah, I think, and this is just my prediction. I haven't read it. This is not somebody else's opinion. This is as soon as I saw this, this is what crossed my mind. Okay. This is not me putting other stuff together. I think Xenoblade Chronicles X is gonna be a Wii and Wii 2 game. It's gonna be a launch game for the Wii 2.
Two.
No, sorry, not the
Uh,
Wii.
this
Sorry.
the Switch too.
The Switch. The Switch is gonna be a game for the Switch and the Switch 2. However, obviously for the Switch 2 is gonna be enhanced. It's probably gonna run a little bit better. And I think the Switch 2 is gonna have some kind of a double screen. And Xenoblade Chronicles X is gonna use that second screen on the
Um,
Switch.
wow, that's something that I didn't think about before. So far, we know that the Switch 2 is going to be, the same format, which is
Portable.
Switch portable. It's
Yeah.
going to be Switch. I don't know about the second screen though. I think that would be way too much, even for them. But
I think it's I think there's gonna be two models in the and it's gonna be like an attachment. You can add a second screen to your. That's what I think. There's
um,
gonna be two models. Second screen is optional, and developers can make a use of it or not. But you're just gonna have to, if you're gonna use it, then great. And if not, then it's kind of like the Wii U. Sometimes you get like a blank screen,
mm-hmm.
and it'll cost like I don't
I,
know.
I didn't think so. Just because the fact that the Wii U busted because of the tablet thing. So I don't
Yeah,
think
but that's
so.
because they try to make it mandatory. I think the base I think the base console is gonna be like you don't need a second screen. However, it's gonna be an attachment. I mean, Nintendo's selling an alarm clock for $100 right now. I can see them selling an attachment that just streams. It's like you want a second screen, it's just gonna stream it, just like the PS
The
Portable,
the
the
PS
Portal.
the
Sorry,
PS Portal.
it's exactly the same. It's gonna stream and you can use it to play, and that way you can bring all those DS and 3DS games into the catalog.
Jesus, that's a hard bet, but I'm willing to
I
look into it. I don't think that's gonna happen, but hey, I'll follow you. I'll follow you to the end of the earth, and you know that, man. You know that.
we'll know next March 20th, 2025 if Xenoblade Chronicles X has a second screen.
Yeah, yeah, we'll know for sure. In the meantime, since we're here, and of course, Disney just came along today. It came along with a trailer, so let's give it a look. Yeah. Oh, just a second. Let's capture it right here. There we go. Let's see how this goes. Monolith soft.
Well, here we are. Not too shabby, huh? For a giant beached spaceship, anyway. But, like it or not, this place is our
It
home
does look
now.
kind of dated.
Yeah, it looks dated.
We took the name from the city it was modeled
Luigi
after back
Mansion
on
3 is
Earth.
still gonna be the best looking game.
Oh yeah.
We call it New Los Angeles.
New Los Angeles.
Welcome to NLA.
No, like,
And so it was that another survivor came to join our band of refugees. Together, we resolved to forge a new way of life here on Mira, come what may.
The maps are awesome.
New LA was our beautiful lie to ourselves. Truth is, we were adrift, heading into the unknown. Our native home was gone, swallowed in a shroud of light. And our future was uncertain. We had no idea what fate lay in store for us. Only that we had to keep living in order to see it.
I don't know. I'm still hopeful, Mel, about those two screens. I don't see any gameplay.
Fancy
All that
seeing
is
you
in
here.
engine, but yeah.
I mean, what I meant by gameplay, I don't see any action where you
Uh-huh.
would see how they
How they
recoded
actually.
what you would have done on the
Mhm.
screen with the controller. So I don't know. I still think it might be. We may have a portable double screen system.
Yeah, for what I know,
I
for
mean, the
what
DS and the 3DS were amazing successes with their double screen.
yes, but again, Wii U not so much, and that was like a full-on console, not just a portable. The portable might have been a lot easier to sell the two screens because you don't have a lot of screen real estate to begin with, right? So more
Yeah, there's no
screen
screen.
on a portable, that's good, but in an actual console, we'll see. We'll see for sure.
Yeah, we'll
But
see.
yeah,
I know
so
it's far-fetched, but
yeah,
Nintendo, I'll be surprised if they just repeat the Switch too. Nintendo has never just done that,
true.
other than Nintendo to Super Nintendo. That was it.
Yeah, and even then, they try to ramp it up with the CD drive and stuff, but that's
They,
another
yeah,
story.
yeah.
That's another story. So yes, regarding Xenoblade, I do know. Well, what they've said so far is that it's going to have a little bit of extra story uh,
Hmm.
filtered into it. So if you played the original one, I mean, anyone played the original one, you might have a little bit more of extra content on it. It's also going to come with a I believe it's 30 days or 7 days. I'm not sure. I'll read it again, but it has some extra days of Nintendo Online. Well, the online service.
Yeah, NSO, Nintendo
Yes,
Switch Online, I think it's
at
called.
that thing. Yeah, so it's gonna
Do
have
you
like
need?
a it
Do
do-
you
it do-
need
it does have an line.
online?
Yeah, it does have an online component. You can actually play co-op in one form or another. So,
Throughout
yeah,
the campaign? Is this a campaign you can play
not
co-op?
not throughout the campaign. It's gonna have like it has like this side missions that you can do a co-op, right? So there is
And
that.
why would you do the side missions co-op? Just for fun, or does it give you XP or what?
Yeah, it gives you XP. You can level
Okay,
up, and you can bring some other stuff up to your max and to your characters and stuff like that.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it does have its online component. I never played the online component to be honest. I just played a pretty much just single player, and it was awesome. I know it does look a little bit dated, but even then, it's a blast to just use your big robot and roam along the land, right? Either in a transform in this transformed vehicle mode or just flying or whatever. So it's a great game. All in all, it's a
I, th-
great
I,
game. I
th-
love it.
I think the game is. I'll be surprised if the Switch 2 doesn't have some kind of enhancements compared to the base Switch.
That could be. That could be. But the thing here is that the game itself, it was done for the Wii U, right? It's
Yeah, but
different when you make
there's
a wait. It's
there's
different.
not a big difference between the Wii U and the Switch, to be honest, when you think about it.
Yeah, yeah, true. But once they bring the Switch 2, you didn't make the game based on whatever the Switch 2 can spew to you, visually speaking.
Okay,
So,
sure.
so usually it works that the other way around, right? If I do something for the PS5, but I launch it also for the PS4, I know that is going to have enhanced features on the PS5. But in this case, the game was originally done for the Wii U, so porting it to the Switch, or heck, even porting it to the Switch 2 is not gonna make that much of a difference to say, hey, I'd rather buy it for the Switch 2. I think. Could be wrong.
I think. Well, I think it's gonna be cross. Like if you buy,
Uh huh.
I just in general, I think most games, if you have a Switch 2, you can play most of your digital library on the Switch 2,
On the
right?
Switch 2.
And hopefully there will be some kind of artificial intelligence that makes some things better, although that's highly doubtful knowing Nintendo. That probably things are gonna need to be patched.
Mm hmm.
But I think I don't think Xenoblade Chronicles X ran perfectly on the Wii U, if I don't remember. And there were a lot of packs that needed to be downloaded. Like and by perfect I mean like this the frame rate will suffer a little bit,
Yeah.
the image was a little bit smudge or
The
blurry
system
at times.
could only do so much at the time. And the
Exactly. And
game
again,
was
I don't.
rather ambitious.
Yeah, and the game is rather ambitious. So, and again, I don't think that the difference between the Wii U and the Switch is that much. So, I'm hoping that there will be some improvements on the Switch too, where, maybe it's running 60 frames per second. Maybe it looks not 4K, but
Or
not as
2K
smudgy.
maybe.
Yeah, little things like that, yes, maybe your normal buyer would not notice, but somebody who's now seen what 120 frames per second look like may notice.
Yes.
So,
Or
but no, I'm so
144.
happy this is coming out. It looks great. It's a huge game. Some people may bark at the $60, and rightfully so, but it's a humongous game, so it's worth every penny.
Yes, I agree. I agree, and it's a blast to play it. So, good thing. Thank you, Nintendo, for dropping this out of nowhere. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
No special event, no nothing. They was just, hey, guess what? This is coming. Get at
There
it.
was apparently there was some kind of countdown going on
Yeah,
the
on the
Nintendo
on
website.
the on the Monolith website, I think.
Oh, was it the Monolith? And people were
I
thinking it would
I
be Switch 2. And
yeah,
I
I
was
think
like, guys, like they're not announcing the Switch 2 before the holidays. Like,
yes.
they're gonna try to sell the last batch of Switches that they're hiding in the warehouse.
And
So there's no Switch 2 announcement coming.
now that you mentioned that, I think Xenoblade Chronicles X is the one game they wanted to launch before the Switch 2, so that you could sell as much as possible Switch side. That's what I
Oh,
think.
there's probably, you know what? There may be a Switch, a Xenoblade Chronicles Switch coming. Like a unique console with some kind of emblem or something
Yeah,
like
it
that.
could be. How Nintendo always launches a lot of game-based consoles, right? Like
Yeah.
design wise. So
For the
yes,
collector.
yeah, for collector's edition, whatnot. So, yeah, I think that's probably the one game they were waiting to launch at the end, to try and sell as many Switches as possible. So
I still think this is gonna be it's gonna cross generations.
it will, but there's gonna be a lot of people that will say, "Hey, I buy a Switch 2 full price, or I buy a brand new Switch for half the price at this point in
Yeah,
time." So
yeah,
there's a lot of people that's gonna keep buying the old Switch, right? The Switch
yeah.
One per se. So this might
At
be
this
the one game
point,
that will drive those sales.
at this point, anybody who wanted a Switch already bought at least one.
Yeah, but there's still gonna be a lot of people that haven't bought it, and that
Yeah.
this game, it might sway people to buy
You
it. So
you
I don't know.
think this game would actually attract people that hasn't bought a Switch? Because this is a game for Nintendo core fans. This is not for the
I
masses. I mean, it will sell to the masses, but I don't think a normal audience is gonna see this game and say, I need a Switch now, and I haven't bought it in the past 8 years.
I'm not sure. What I do know is this: a lot of people just bought a Wii U just to play this game. A lot
Yeah.
of people bought a Wii U just to play this game, and of course, it was the only game that they able played, me included.
Yeah, no, I hear you, but I don't think really is who is out there that hasn't bought a Switch that would want to that will buy this
Oh,
game just
I'll give you an example, a quick example. I have a Switch. The Switch was a gift from a friend of mine.
you
I
would buy
wouldn't
a
have
full
bought
new
it.
Switch.
I wouldn't have bought a Switch if it wasn't given to me. After this announcement today, I would say I need a Switch right now.
Really? Okay.
Yes, definitely.
And the first Xenoblade didn't do that for you.
Huh?
This first Xenoblade didn't do that for you.
No, no, not quite, because I had already played it.
But you already played this one too.
Yes, but the difference is that while Xenoblade is very good and I love the game, it is not a game that I would definitely need to get a new console for, because I already bought
Okay.
it. Now, this particular game, however, this one does make a difference. In the same way that I bought the Wii U just to play this game, I would
Okay.
have bought a Switch just to play this game remastered or whatever right now.
Okay. All right. All right.
So,
I believe you.
so moving on. So there's another trailer that came out. It's a short one, and this is a very niche thing. But for those that are waiting for the next Fatal Fury, we have a new character launch. So, for one, let's look at it.
How did I not see this coming?
You can be my warm-up. Come on, let's go!
This is a Taekwondo-based character. So it's all kicks.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Like the opposite of boxing.
Yeah.
Blink and you'll miss it!
And then the Ultra Super Mega Duper spot.
No, I love the animation in movement
Of the Wolves.
as they're fighting and moving, but the characters itself, they seem a little too clean. The designs don't. They're just a bit too clean for my taste, but they're nice. They're nice designs.
Yeah, I mean the art style they're going for it is a little bit between sort of cell shady, but not really.
But not
guess.
really, yeah.
So that's where it looks a little bit too clean, like you said. So it depends.
But in movement, it has that Fatal Fury. It's some
Vibe.
movement, yeah, vibe. It is very cool.
But it's going to be very interesting when we see Ken Masters and Chong Li getting into the fray.
Have they released trailers for those two?
No, not yet. I mean, just the trailer where they announced it, but there's
Yeah,
no
okay.
actual videos for the characters. Also,
Gameplay.
visually, I don't know how they're going to look.
Yeah,
because,
that's what I'm.
yeah, those screens
Visually
are
and
straight
movement.
from Street Fighter 6, right? So
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, this
Cool.
is also the fact that Fatal Fury, they're famous for being 4-button games. So there's
I forgot about that. You're right.
yeah, so the transition from 6 buttons to 4 buttons is going to be interesting. Just like Cherry was interesting to see him from going from 4 buttons to 6 buttons, right? And they did a lot
Well,
of
I
stuff
mean-
to make that work.
But we did when you Marvel versus Capcom is 4 buttons.
Marvel versus Capcom. I believe it depends on the group that you choose or your. There's like different systems called groups, and depending on the system that you choose, you would play them either as 4 buttons or 6 buttons, and they will have their differences.
Well, I mean, there's 4 main buttons. There's the light, medium, high, and the special,
No,
and then you can combine.
no. It's two heavy. Sorry, light punch, light kick, heavy punch, heavy kick. That's it.
Yeah. Well, no, there's 3 buttons, and then there's a special button, which is the 4th button. At least on the 3rd one, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, there's a special button.
Oh yeah, Marvel versus Capcom. Yes, but on SNK versus Capcom, you had that thing where the SNK
okay.
characters, depending on the group that you choose, it will be either 4 or 6 buttons, right? So
Okay. No, I was talking Capcom. I was
yeah,
Marvel.
in this case, we're going back to 4 buttons, right? I mean, that's an oxymoron because now you have a 6 buttons regardless. You can just have like a special moves and what have you on the other 2 buttons, right? But yes,
but-
Fatal Fury, it's usually just 2 light, 2 heavies, and then you press the 2 heavies for a very heavy, and then you press the light buttons to do dodges, and that's it.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah.
catch.
At
Cool.
the end, the character is a combat character from the original Garo, Mark of the Wolves, It's
Okay.
if you know if you know Fatal Fury, you might know a character called Kim Kap Wom, which is a Taekwondo martial artist. Now this is his son, one of two, so chances are it's gonna be two characters coming in with Taekwondo. They're different styles, but the same martial art. So I guess
Alrighty.
we'll know soon enough.
We'll know soon enough. That's right.
Yeah. And to close the night, there's one last trailer, which is something very close to my heart. It's very fun in a way. So hopefully the game will be good. Let's give it a look.
All right.
Also SNK.
Oh,
This trailer
you've been
just...
waiting for this for a while.
Oh yeah. But now we have a date, and we'll see it soon. Also, it does have some other SNK characters, like that one character Clark. He's from the Career Warriors games, but also is a fighter in King of Fighters, Leona as well. So this is pretty much old school tactics, which is kind of cool in a sense. Ralph was also in the Career Warrior, which is also a fighter in King of Fighters. The animations look pretty cool for a pixel character, of course.
Yeah.
November the 5th, which is just 1 week away.
Not that far.
Not that far at all. So, yeah, the fact that they're bringing in, I mean, on Metal Slug, on the latest Metal Slug games, they've brought these characters like the Career Warriors and some other characters. So it's no surprise that they're coming to the Tactics game, since usually in Tactics game you gather a lot of characters and then you just choose whatever you want, right, to go through the missions. But all in all, I love Tactic games. And Metal Slug, that's one game I never expected to see in the Tactics game, but it does make sense. It is a military game at the end, even though the original game is a side-scrolling shooter. The characters and the world and everything, it sets itself to be also a tactics game with no issues. I think it's gonna be awesome.
It looks great. How can you argue with that one?
And that would be it for today. I don't know if there's anything else that you got in mind that you can think of.
No, it's been a slow week to be honest.
Mhm.
I mean, Call of Duty is the big thing, really, and I haven't touched it. Although a lot of people are saying great things about the campaign.
Yeah, that's one thing. I already installed it. I just need the time to play it. The problem is that my time is being spent on a factory, so it might be
How can
hard
I
to.
blame you? How can I blame you? I can't blame you for that.
Yeah, I have it installed already, and hopefully, I'll go through the campaign, which is, originally Call of Duty for me was precisely that: play the campaign, right? Play the single player, or if there's a co-op opportunity, that's great. But at the end, it's the campaign that made it for me.
Yeah.
Once the multiplayer started to come into the fray, that changed things a lot. But I still like the single player campaign. So the fact that they finally brought a campaign, and not only that, but also a campaign that apparently people is liking, that's a good note, a good mark in my book for
That's
Call of
already a
Duty.
plus for sure.
Yes, and to be honest, I don't plan to go into multiplayer at all. So
Eh, you should give it a shot.
I might, but I don't think I will stick too long into it.
Yeah, I hear you. What else came up? Red Dead Redemption is finally out on PC.
First one? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. I totally forgot about that. But yeah, so first Red Dead Redemption is on PC, and it does come with its zombie counterpart.
Yeah, Undead Nightmares, I think it's called.
On the Nightmare. Now I'm looking at the price.
It's full price.
Jesus. Well, oh my God, it's nearly 2,000 pesos. That's what, like a 80 dollars, something like that.
Oh, is it
For
2,000 pesos?
the bundle with on the Nightmare. So
Oh, I
it's
thought it was just one
it's
package. I'm surprised they're selling us two things. Let me see how much is in
yeah,
dollars here.
they're two separate things. So we're looking at. I mean,
That's messed up.
I mean, Steam prices will never be the same in Mexico than in the U.S. But if we
But
go,
it's usually a little lower. I mean, it's showing
it is
fifty
quite lower.
dollars.
$50.
$50.
All right, we're looking at 899 pesos. That makes sense.
Oh, 899. I thought you said 2,000.
Yes, 899 for the base game.
Are you sure you're not looking at a bundle between Red Dead 1 and 2? Not Undead Nightmare?
Nope. Here it is. Buy Red Dead Redemption 899. Buy Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Okay, yeah, that.
Yes, you're right. Yep, totally right.
Yeah, I think
bought
Red
that
Dead
one.
Redemption just has Undead Nightmare already included.
Yes, it's the two games that are bundled for 1800.
Yeah, but here, you know,
But even then,
here it's to me $50 for, and I love Red Dead Redemption. It's one of my favorite finales endings that I have ever played.
true. The first one.
The first one, yeah. However, I don't think today it is worth $50 because that type of game has evolutionized so much since Red Dead Redemption came out that I'm pretty sure Red Dead Redemption is gonna feel pretty dated
Yeah,
compared to today's standard.
especially when we have two. So two, it might not be story-wise the best of the two. However, gameplay-wise and graphic-wise, it is. So it is going to feel a little bit outdated, I think.
Yeah, I think this should have been even 40, but at least it's more chewable. Like, yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah, $40, I'll go and get it. I know they spend time and money and resources to do the porting, but at the end we're still talking about a how many years old game? Way too many years.
It's not the number of years. It's just that type of game has really improved in the past 10 years. Like there's been a lot of changes made to the open world game that it's gonna feel dated.
True.
Whereas a 2D side scroller or even an action game like Devil May Cry, they haven't really changed much in the past 20 years, right? So, but this game is gonna feel very dated. But when it goes on sale, I will buy it because I want to play it on the Steam Deck. I'm assuming it's gonna be Steam Deck compatible.
It should be, but I can confirm. Steam Chisel Player HDR available, family sharing, and well, it doesn't say that it's Steam Deck.
It says unknown, so it's they're gonna wait for people to play it and make sure that nobody's having issues with it.
Let's see, Red Dead Redemption and its iconic zombie blah 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 and the Nightmare to be enjoyed can now be enjoyed on PC in stunning detail together in one stellar package. Red Dead Redemption includes new features to bring the game to life on PC, with HDR lighting, native 4K resolution, and up to 144 Hz on supported hardware. Monitor support for ultra wide and super wide, adjustable draw distance, shadow quality settings, and more. No mention of Steam Deck certified.
No, I actually don't think it'll be completely certified. None of the Grand Theft Autos are. They're
Yeah.
playable. Because I think you have to log in into their network to
Mm-hmm.
be able to play it, and that by itself will make it not completely verified because then
True.
you can't just play it anywhere.
True.
Um, but I think this is gonna end up being a Steam Deck playable game. It's just
Sooner or
it'll be like
later.
a month. Yeah, what they want. I bet you it's playable today. It's just they want people to play it and make sure there's no bugs,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll
True.
fine tune it and the settings or whatnot. So it'll be crazy if Rockstar doesn't make this game playable for the Steam Deck. It's
Yep.
it's perfect for portable, especially a game that old. You want to play it portable. I don't want to play that in the big screen. Not anymore.
Not anymore. So
So
yeah, that's what I had. I can think of anything else. I think we might have gone through whatever has been happening through this week, unless
I
you
think
surprise me
so.
again with something else.
No, that's pretty much it. So what I say, thank you so much everybody for joining. This is Richard. I'll see you next week. Keep on gaming, Mel.
Yeah, same thing. We'll be playing again. We'll be playing Dragon Age, the Veilguard, this next Thursday. So stay tuned on that. And other than that, this has been a delight as always, Rich. And this has been Power Up. And everyone, please keep on gaming. And let us know if there's anything you want to see. Hey, I just saw this new message on the chat, which is 90. Hello, 90. I didn't see it come through unless it
Oh
was
my
like right
goodness,
now.
Mel.
Yeah, and I do have the chat in front of me, so I'm not sure if this is like a brand new, a brand new chat post or it just happened and I never noticed it. But hey, Nighty, hello. As always, thank you for joining in. We're just about to wrap it up, and we will be well. I will be playing Dragon Age: The Veilguard next Thursday, so stay tuned. If you want to join in, please do. Yeah, I know it's a little bit late. It's a little bit late, but you know, we're still here. We're still here.
Yeah, why
Yeah,
not?
yeah, you did. You did. So yeah, let's see if we can talk next Thursday. Rich, if you're available, then of course you're more than welcome to join in and check the game with me. And for everyone else, please of course come in, take a look, and be ready for next Tuesday, which will be filled up with a lot of information. If anything happens. If not, we'll talk about something else, something fun, something special, something great. In the meantime, like I said, everyone, thank you for joining in. Thank you for coming and tuning up, and keep on gaming. And that will be it. Good night, fellas. Rich,
Good
always a
night.
pleasure.
Talk to you later.
Talk to you later. Peace.